To take note means to pay attention. This is our city, our schools, and it's our future at stake. But if we're to realize the dream of a better future, we have to revisit the past and issues that have taken decades to develop. Take Note is going to examine events and characters that'll make you proud, angry, and uncomfortable. But it's necessary, because from Hickman Mills to Bonner Springs, from Blue Valley to Independence, the quality of our K through 12 education systems here in the Kansas City Metro impacts us all. The Kansas City, Missouri School District came to be in 1867. Soon, public schools were required for all children, so long as whites were educated in schools separate from blacks. Students entered the workforce between the ages of 11 and 13. If they did go to high school, Kansas City's Central High was the most prestigious. Before 1900, Quality Hill was home to Kansas City's elite. That wouldn't last. The winds of change blew off the growing stockyards below, making the neighborhood less than desirable. Luxury homes became boarding houses to increasing numbers of blacks and immigrants seeking work. By 1910, Quality Hill was deemed a slum. A young Olathe-born man named James Clyde Nichols observed it all. He developed the Mission Hills Country Club District. J.C. sold more than homes. He sold a way of life that included planned parks, churches, and yes, schools. He also used something called restrictive covenants to ensure property values remained stable. Those covenants specified who the property could and couldn't be sold to in the future. Expansion outward continued. In 1922, Shawnee Mission Rural High opened. The Great Depression created an unintended consequence. With so few jobs available, teens began to stay longer in school. In 1948, tensions developed when South Park Elementary was built in Johnson County as an alternative to the outdated Walker Elementary School. South Park, however, didn't allow blacks. Teachers Corinthia Nutter and Hazel Weddington protested. By 1949, the Kansas Supreme Court had ruled that a public school system couldn't segregate students because of race. In 1954, Brown v. Board of Education made segregation illegal nationwide. Sprawl became an enormous concern for Kansas City City Manager L.P. Cookingham. The population and tax base was continuing to decline. Cookingham responded by annexing land. By the 1960s, the city had grown by more than 200 miles, but the Kansas City School District remained the same size. In 1965, the Olathe School District was formed via consolidation. In 1968, the Shawnee Mission School District was formed. By 1970, student scores in Kansas City began falling. In 1977, the Kansas City, Missouri School District sued the state on behalf of the district's students to correct racial inequality. The litigation would be the driving factor in Kansas City education for the next 26 years. In 1985, U.S. District Court Judge Russell Clark found the state of Missouri was liable for segregated schools, and multi-million-dollar remedies were set in motion to improve facilities and programs. Magnet schools were established to attract white students. But by 1995, the district had little to show for the expenditures in terms of improving scores. Missouri authorizes the creation of charter schools in 1998. By 1999, the Kansas City School District couldn't meet even one of the academic performance standards and lost accreditation. Growth and prosperity was seen primarily on the Kansas side of the state line in districts including Blue Valley, Olathe, and Shawnee Mission. In 2005, the Kansas State Supreme Court directs lawmakers to come up with a plan to provide more funding to K-12 schools. The year 2007 brought the Independence District's annexation of 7 schools from Kansas City. Then Superintendent John Covington called for the closure of 29 of the district's 61 schools. In the fall of 2016, the Kansas City District hits the full accreditation mark for the first time in nearly 3 decades. That same year, the Kansas Supreme Court finds that funding to K-12 schools is unequitable. There's so much to examine, so much to do. So take note. This is our city, our schools, our future.